Good morning, I am Pichia and my partner is Sarapon. Today we will be telling you about animals and plants that are endemic to Egypt. We have chosen the Egyptian weasel, the Nile Delta toad, and the Rosa arabica. This presentation will include features of each part of Egypt to why these animals and plants are endemic. Now let's talk about geographical setting of Egypt. Egypt is located in the northeastern corner of Africa, within the Middle East, bordered by Syria, Nubia, and Libya. The Mediterranean Sea and the countries of southern Europe are to Egypt's north, Libya is to the west, the Red Sea is to the east, and the cataracts are to the south. Within these borders, Egypt is predominantly arid. The remaining is largely made up of the Nile Valley and Delta, the latter expanding out fan-like from just north of Cairo to the Mediterranean. The narrow strip of cooler, wetter desert along the north coast supports a similar narrow biome, including plants and animals that owe more to the Mediterranean conditions than the Saharan. To the south, precipitation, often in the form of snow, increases in the mountains of Sinai. Through much of Egypt, the pattern is broadly similar. Within this general pattern, the Egyptian landscape varies dramatically, and with it, the plants and animals it supports. The Egyptian weasel is a small mustelid with a distribution restricted to the lower Nile Valley and the Nile Delta. The Egyptian weasel is endemic to northern Egypt. Morphology and biogeographical relationships with fossil records suggest that the Egyptian weasel populations have naturally survived from an earlier period or in a primitive form. They also have been hypothesized to derived from historical introduction by the Romans. It lives in the same places as humans, including cities and villages, and has been described as an obligate synanthrope. They are largely commensal with humans. They were also used as rodent control. The Egyptian weasel is omnivorous and includes a significant amount of vegetables and fruit in its diet. Their diet reflects their opportunistic synanthropic lifestyle. The populations volatile and vary annually and seasonally in relation to prey availability. The next species is the Nile Delta toad. The Nile Delta toad is endemic to Egypt. It was originally found in the Nile Delta. Its natural habitats are swamps, freshwater marshes, arable land, urban areas, seasonally flooded agricultural land and canals, and ditches. The species was previously thought to be confined to the delta but seems to have spread upstream along the Nile River, probably as a result of the establishment of extensive reed swamps along the river banks and canals after the completion of the High Dam. The species can be heard along the Nile, even in the middle of Cairo, and abundant populations were recently discovered in the Luxor region. It is present in several protected areas and faces no particular threats.
The Sinai Peninsula cannot be as a whole, since the northern part and the southern part are very different. Southern part can be described as a continuation of the eastern desert both geologically and sociologically. It can be also characterized by the mountainous terrain and dissected by the water-eroded valleys. Sinai is also characterized by species found nowhere else in Egypt, which is a result of the isolationist factors, while the northern part can be characterized by the low, rolling sand dune, very different from the mountain of the south. St. Catherine is the coolest area in the South Sinai and Egypt due to its high elevation. The lowest minimum temperature was recorded in January and February, about -3°C and -6°C, while the highest maximum temperature was in June and August, about 42°C and 43°C respectively. The endemic species that can be found in the Catherine Mountain area is the Rosa arabica. It is a threatened species of the family Rosaceae. Endemic to the Mount Catherine region of the South Nile of Egypt, the global population is less than 100 individuals. The species is considered as fragmented because it produces only a small number of seeds, and this makes it less efficient at the long-distance dispersal, and therefore more easily isolated Very small population with individual plants occurring sporadically in space in little groups where the soil is rocky. Long-term drought and destructive effect of the sudden flooding are the main limiting factor for this species, and because the plant is distributed within very small district area, the effect of this threat will be felt by the entire population. And that is all for our presentation. Thank you.